Hi, my name is Flavio. I've developed a method with which you can overcome porn addiction. You can beat the addiction to pornography. And this is something very, very important as far as the quality of your life. Now, overcoming addiction to pornography is all about the mind. It has nothing to do with sex drive. It has nothing to do with you liking sex. It has nothing to do with you needing more sex than other people. I know it feels that way to the person who's undergoing who's still under the influence of that addiction, but it has nothing to do with any of that. The sex drive is perfectly natural, and you should express your sexuality, but there's a way to do it that makes you a better person, and there's a way to do it that causes you to lose your dignity, and that is the case when you do pornography and masturbation, which go hand in hand. Because it's a mindset thing, because it's all in our minds, you see, we have to change our minds in order to change the behavior and overcome the addiction. And how we're going to change our minds? Well, one idea at a time. Notice what I told you. I've developed a method. And although this is not the entire method, step by step, I'm giving you enough mindset shifts that if you put them all together, you can actually make a great deal of progress in overcoming the addiction to pornography. Is it wrong? All right, so in philosophy, we study something called ethics. And ethics is the study of correctness of actions. Is this action right or wrong? So is pornography, is using pornography to masturbate wrong? That is typically an ethical sort of question in terms of philosophy. And there are many ways of answering that question within the context of philosophy, but usually one popular way to tackle this question is, well, am I harming anybody? Am I harming anybody? It's a valid question. And the answer to that question may surprise you. So consider this. When a man is watching pornography and masturbating, how many entities are involved in that transaction? Let's put it this way. So there's the man masturbating. There is a possible spouse or partner who's not physically present usually, but there's that person to consider, right? How many entities are we considering here? There are the people who are the actors and actresses, the people performing for you, and there are the managers or the business people making the whole operation possible. And then you have another class of entities, which I won't discuss here, but it is the key to this whole process, which may not even be physical beings. So we're going to be talking more about this later, but just consider these entities: you, the partner or spouse, the actors and actresses, and the managers, and ask what is the effect of pornography on each one of these people's lives. Now, because I've been doing therapy for over 20 years, I've worked with many people who make a living producing pornography. I never worked with a producer, but producing, I mean like actors and actresses. And I can tell you, at least the ones who come over for therapy, they feel that their lives are ruined on many different levels. I mean, they have to use a whole lot of drugs. I mean, there's a whole lot of, they lose their dignity. There's a whole lot there that is lost. It doesn't start off that way. They feel it's just a business. It's just a way to make quick money. But usually there's a degradation of their self-respect that slowly builds up because you just got to do one more scene, and that one more scene you're exhausted with a little bit of drugs, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and next thing you know, a person feels that they've lost themselves. So clearly, in the long run, the people who are the actors and actresses, they are being harmed in some way. So when we consume the content to derive some pleasure, in some way we are feeding the behavior, and in a very indirect way, there's a certain degree of harm there. Now consider the spouse or the partner or whatever. Let's say you're married and you have a wife who doesn't know you're using pornography to masturbate. Well, I can tell you, I've worked over 20 years in therapy. I can tell you when those spouses come over, they absolutely feel cheated on. And if you don't believe me, and if you are married or if you have a girlfriend, whatever now, who does not know that you're addicted to pornography, if you don't believe you're harming her, have a frank conversation with her. Say, look, I just want you to know we've been together for all these years. I'm addicted to pornography. I hide from you to masturbate, looking at other people having sex, so see if she feels hurt, And I can tell you that when they come over here, they tell me that you hurt, but you can have the conversation with their spouse. And I don't deny, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of you men out there tell me, well, my wife doesn't care. It's possible. But in general, the spouse feels cheated on, feels dirty in some way because of your behavior, in general. And then, of course, you have the managers who essentially derive a profit from keeping you addicted, and keeping these other people also addicted in some way, the people who are producing the content, because it's very difficult to get out of their lifestyle. There's a whole lot of money. They never keep the money. The expression here in therapy, when they come over, they tell me, easy come, easy goes. In other words, I make the money easy, but then I lose it all, I spend it all. There's, like I said earlier, lots of drug usage, So it isn't like they're getting wealthy. And I know there are exceptions. There are stars who are making a fortune and they live great lifestyles. That is true. I'm talking about the average. Those stars that you're talking about are not the average situation. You can count in one or two hands at most how many of those people are in the industry. But on the average, it's a whole bunch of common boys and girls basically ruining their lives for a few dollars. Do some research and you're going to see what I'm talking about. And then you have a few stars who really grow in the business, which is amazing. But so those are the different entities that you have to consider and ask yourself, am I harming any of those? Now then there's the question of you. Are you harming yourself? Well, if you're watching this video, I suppose that you've come to the conclusion that your life is basically in shambles because of pornography and masturbation addiction. You feel exhausted, you lost your dignity, you don't respect yourself anymore, you feel completely out of control. And some men tell me, no, I don't feel that way. I said, that's fine. Maybe one of two explanations there. Maybe you're not there, and I congratulate you, good for you, or we're in denial. I'm not the one who judges that or who decides that for you. I'm just explaining either a man's life is ruined and he's in denial about it, which is one possibility. The other possibility is that his life is really not ruined. He's okay. Everything's okay in his life. That's possible too. In which case, you won't need this method. So this method is for the people who have come to the conclusion that pornography and masturbation is in fact harming them. Let's continue talking about this. If you have any questions, let me know. Put a comment down there and send me an email or click on the button here so that I can send you more information and we can continue dialoguing about this, because, I'm going to help you beat porn addiction if you want to. Thank you.